Now, Wave 31 Storm Tracker Chief Meteorologist Jeff Castle with 31 Triple Doppler.
Jeff, you have been busy all week tracking our next big weather maker, which is going to bring some snow our way.
It's not even here yet and already super busy, so just imagine the day of.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
No.
No, me either. You know, when I worked here before, I lived in Madison and, of course, worked off the Parkway and didn't have to go up and over Montesano to get to work, so that's going to be a little tricky. Travel will, of course, be an issue as it is with any winter weather event. The good news is, and the difference between this one and the one we had last January, the one last January was a lot of ice, and this is just not looking like that's going to be the case unless something dramatic changes with the track of the storm and the overall thermal setup in the atmosphere here over North Alabama. But we're continuing to watch for that if there are any shifts that would lead to that. But for now, our 31 alert day for Friday is primarily for accumulating snowfall. We're going to look at this later Thursday night. Timing bumped it up a little bit just based on some of the data coming in this evening. Could see some snow beginning to fall out towards the shoals maybe by 3 in the morning on Friday, and it likely wouldn't wrap up in the eastern part of the area over Sand Mountain until maybe around 9 in the evening on Friday, and then it's over and done with. This, of course, encompassing all of North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee. No one is going to be spared from what we are expecting to roll on through. Made some tweaks here to our snowfall forecast, although still in the same general range. I think a good 3 to 6 inches of snow is going to be a pretty good bet as it stands right now for the majority of the area. Higher totals will likely be to the north, southern Middle Tennessee, also here close to the Alabama border, stretching from northern Madison County back through the shoals. Anywhere from about 4 to 6 inches expected there. That includes Muscle Shoals and Athens. Around Huntsville, Decatur, back to Moulton, over towards Gunnersville, Scottsboro, Fort Payne, 3 to 5 inches, pretty good average as it looks right now. And then areas to the south will likely be a little bit less, but one of the other things that changed with the data this evening is that we might have a little bit less of a wintry mix, and so that could lead to a bit more accumulation showing up here, parts of Blount, Etowah County, southern parts of Marshall, as well as DeKalb County. Of course, we'll continue to fine-tune these numbers, massage them as we need to based on the latest data, but it's continuing to be in the trend that we started off with yesterday, showing what the expected numbers were going to be across the area. Again, maybe a little less ice. This is new information this evening showing just a little bit of that. Coleman, Etowah, parts of Marshall, DeKalb County, into Blount County as well. So that may not be as much of a concern with that threat staying a little closer to Birmingham. But of course, we're closely going to monitor that for southern parts of the area. Again, all quiet right now, Wave 31 Triple Doppler. So let's jump into future radar. We'll start you at midnight Thursday night. That is when we will start to see some snow coming in between then and the pre-dawn hours of Friday. We'll stop this around 2 o'clock in the morning, may begin to see some snow developing here at this point, I-65 westward. And then by 6 o'clock in the morning, future radar indicating pretty solid coverage of snow everywhere across North Alabama and southern Middle Tennessee. Keep an eye on the pink color. That's your wintry mix. When I was showing you this in our earlier newscast before we got the latest update, that came a little bit farther to the north than what we are seeing indicated now. This is around 9 o'clock in the morning. Again, most of that stays towards Birmingham. Pretty well solidly snow showing up here in future radar for the rest of the area through the lunch hour even at that point. Here's noontime. A little bit of that pink goes into portions of Blount, Etowah, as well as Coleman County. But again, the majority of the area could be looking at still solid snow at that point. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, still scattered areas of light snow. And then as we hit late afternoon, early evening around 6 o'clock, that's when we'll start to see things begin to break up and taper off. And at that point, it will be over and done with. But again, not before putting down a coating of snow here for it looks like a large part of the area. Bus stop in the morning, just cold, 25 degrees. Kids will need to be bundled up and they'll be wearing the coat home from school as well. Not much of a warm up there, even if we get a little afternoon sun, only topping out in the mid-30s. Here's a breakdown of that forecast hour by hour. Probably not hitting the freezing mark until around the lunch hour. And again, even with some sun, that northwest wind keeping it cold, mostly middle to upper 30s again across the area. That's kind of the range we've been stuck in for the last couple days. Wave 31 Storm Tracker 10-day. Again, all eyes on Friday. That's your 31 alert day. Snow expected, accumulation expected. Only 35 for that high. Heading into Saturday, probably won't really warm up a whole lot, but a little melting starting to take place as we creep above the freezing mark. I think that melting will pick up Sunday and as we head throughout much of next week. Overnight lows, though, an issue. Notice they go below freezing every night through most of next week. So until we totally melt the snow off the roads, Nicole, every single night there is going to be the refreeze. So just because the snow ends doesn't mean that we won't have some problems with slick travel in the days beyond.
That's right, and we'll be watching all of that very closely and with you every step of the way. So make sure you keep it right here on Wave 31.